A silkworm undergoes 4 molting stages before starting to produce silk, a process that takes around 3 weeks. At the end of its final molt, the silkworm's body becomes translucent, indicating it's ready to spin a cocoon. Workers then place them on rectangular frames. This task must be done quickly in order to avoid eye irritation. This is because silkworms urinate for the last time before starting to spin their silk. This is also why silk farmers place the frames in cool, well-ventilated areas with soft light to ensure the cocoons dry and remain fragrant. Within 3 to 8 days, the silkworms begin to secrete a viscous and transparent protein liquid through an opening called a spinneret in order to form a cocoon. It lasts for 4 days before the harvest. During this time, the silkworm rotates its body in a figure-8 motion around 300,000 times, forming a cocoon with a silk thread up to 1 kilometer long. Afterwards, they pupate inside. Cocoons tend to be white or yellow, depending on the silkworm breed. Silk farmers then remove the frames and the cocoons, which can be done by machine in some facilities. During the harvest, they also conduct a preliminary sorting process, discarding thin, dirty, or damaged cocoons. The cocoons are then packaged and transported by truck to the silk factory. These cocoons need to be processed within 10 to 12 days, because if delayed, the pupae will turn into moths and break out of the cocoons, ruining the silk. Upon arriving at the factory, bags of cocoons are further sorted by workers. Then they are transferred to troughs where they remove dirt and other impurities. Next, the cocoons are boiled in water to dissolve sericin, a sticky protein, making them softer and easier to unwind. Skilled workers then locate the end of the silk thread and wind it onto the spools of a specialized silk reeling machine. This machine unwinds all the silk from each cocoon, producing something called a silk filament. Typically, silk filaments from 10 cocoons are twisted together to form a strong silk thread. After all the silk has been extracted, the remaining silkworm pupae are used as a food ingredient, prized for their rich and nutritious flavor. The silk is then wound into bundles or skins. The weaving process involves interlacing individual silk threads to create a piece of silk fabric. This can be done by both hand and machine, but hand-woven silk is always more expensive, costing around $50 per square meter. An automatic machine like this can process 15 tons of cocoons per day. Silk threads can also be dyed or combined with other types of fibers like linen, rami, or cotton. Approximately 800 workers are harvesting aloe vera leaves on this 20,000 hectare farm. Manual harvesting is preferred for its precision in cutting aloe vera leaves. Workers must cut the entire leaf, then remove the thorn and the tip. They only select mature leaves that are ready for harvest, ensuring the remaining plant can continue to grow. The harvested aloe vera leaves are then loaded onto trucks. This vast field requires a week to harvest for the first batch, yielding over 1 million leaves. This is a specialized aloe vera processing plant with a capacity of 250,000 pounds per day. After harvesting, aloe vera must be processed within 36 hours, or it will lose its biological activity at normal temperatures. Upon arrival, the aloe vera is washed with chlorine dioxide water for disinfection. About 20,000 gallons of aloe vera juice are exported at this facility each day. Workers trim the base, tip, and thorns using a specially designed knife. They are then washed again with a chlorine solution. After this, the workers quickly remove the outer skin and extract the inner flesh. With a sharp knife, a worker can process one aloe vera leaf in less than 3 seconds. Their capacity is 3,500 leaves per day. Some companies use machines to replace humans, but due to the varying sizes of aloe vera leaves, machine processing does not yield the same quality as manual labor. 1 ton of aloe vera yields 400 to 500 kilograms of flesh, with the remainder used as fertilizer. The aloe vera flesh is then taken to a sorting table to remove any remaining leaves. Aloe vera gel contains 98.5% water and has a pH of 4.5. It is then cut into smaller pieces and put into a grinder to create pure gel. Pasteurization is necessary to ensure the aloe vera gel is free of bacteria. Ascorbic acid is then added to extend shelf life. Finally, it is vacuum sealed in a big batch and distributed to smaller plants for further processing and bottling. It takes 20 aloe vera leaves to produce 1 gallon of aloe vera gel. The Philippines, Indonesia, and India are the leading coconut producing countries, accounting for approximately 72% of the world's total coconut production. A coconut tree can produce up to 80 coconuts per year for over 100 years. To harvest coconuts, skilled workers climb coconut trees over 80 feet tall barefoot or using notches cut into the tree. Once at the top, they use machetes to cut the coconuts. After harvesting, coconuts are dried for a month and a half before being brought to the processing facility for husking. The coconut meat and husk are separated for different production processes. This step can be done by machine, but skilled workers are still needed. In the past, coconut husks were often discarded, but with the advancement of technology, its fibre, which is called coir, has found many applications in daily life. Despite being the leading coconut growing country, 90% of India's coconut product exports are coir. The country has earned $120 million for exporting over 1 million tonnes of coir in 2022. These coir are often pressed into blocks that can be used in gardening as a potting mix, for soil drainage and water retention improvement. But did you know that coir is also popular in making biodegradable coolers? Let's see how it's done. This machine will grind the husk and separate the coir fibers, which are then passed through a mesh-like rotating machine to remove impurities. These fibers are then spread out, stacked, and stitched together to create a perfect insulation board. These organic insulation boards are durable, inexpensive, and eco-friendly, making them popular amongst fishermen. Have you ever used a coir mat? Keep watching to see how these mats are made from this natural material. First, dry husks are placed onto a conveyor belt, which bring them up to a grinding machine to make the coir. Then the coir is naturally dried for 3 to 4 days and put into big bags like this for storage. Apart from India, Sri Lanka, the Philippines, Thailand, and Vietnam are also significant producers of coir mats. Now the workers will put the coir into a spinning machine. Then the twisting part twists the coir fibers together into strands with a diameter of 1 to 2 millimeters, and each coil of such strands is 100 meters long. These strands are then fed into a loom to weave into a big mat like this. Coir mats are getting more and more popular because of their long-lasting, eco-friendly, and excellent dirt-trapping skills. Finally, each big mat is cut into a smaller one. In India, coir textile is also used in road construction. It is typically placed between a subgrade and subbase layers of a road. They act as a reinforcement layer, improving the overall stability of the road structure. Which one would you choose? Pickle sandwich or pickle ice cream? Pickle cucumber farms are incredibly popular in the United States. Over 246 million people out of 329.5 million people consumed them in 2020. So, have you ever wondered how millions of tons of cucumbers are grown and transformed into pickles? Let's explore and find out today. The first thing big farms do before sowing cucumber seeds is soil preparation. Cucumbers thrive in slightly acidic soils with a pH range of 6 to 7.5. Optimal growth requires fertile, well-structured soil, so the first step involves thorough tillage. This means turning over the soil 2 to 3 times of a depth of 1 to 2 inches using a plough or rototiller. After tilling, the planted area is levelled and prepared for seeding. To ensure robust growth, farmers apply fertilizers rich in nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. Additionally, cucumbers are often rotated with other crops like corn or soybeans in order to maintain soil health and prevent the buildup of pests and diseases. Planting times vary by climate, but in the US, farmers typically wait until after the last frost, since cucumbers are sensitive to frost. Seeds are planted around ½ an inch deep, spaced 12 to 18 inches apart. About 0.9 to 2.2 pounds of seeds are sowed per acre. Under ideal conditions, cucumber seeds germinate within 3 to 10 days, needing warm, moist soil to sprout successfully. Farmers often use mulch or seed covers to retain moisture and regulate soil temperature. 3 to 4 days post-germination, the seedlings shed their initial cotyledons and produce their first true leaves. Within 6 to 8 weeks, the plants start flowering. Since cucumber flowers bloom for only 1 day, timely pollination by bees is crucial. Farmers typically introduce bees to the field when about 25% of the plants have begun to flower, although smaller farms might pollinate by hand. Regular watering is essential, with cucumber plants needing about 1 to 2 inches of water per week. Irrigation systems such as drip or sprinkler systems are commonly used to provide consistent moisture. Cucumber plants are susceptible to diseases like powdery mildew and bacterial wilt, and pests like aphids and cucumber beetles can cause significant damage if not managed. In 2020, nearly 2.3 million hectares worldwide was dedicated to cucumber farming, yielding over 91 million tons. Pickling cucumbers differs from slicing cucumbers in their shorter length and thinner skin. The Kirby variety is particularly favoured by both home gardeners and commercial growers. Cucumbers for picking are harvested 50 to 60 days after planting, when they are firm, vibrant green and about 2 inches long. In the US, open fields yield is around 3 to 15 tons per hectare. On small farms, cucumbers are hand-picked, a labour-intensive process requiring about 100 workers per acre, who may need to harvest twice daily for up to 30 days. Workers wear gloves to increase efficiency when harvesting, and they can collect an average of 1 to 1.5 tons a day. For large-scale operations, mechanical harvesters can process up to 3 acres per hour. These machines remove leaves and vines while gently detaching the cucumbers. They often include sorting mechanisms to classify cucumbers by size and quality. Systems to return non-marketable cucumbers to the field as organic matter are also implemented. China is the largest cucumber producer in the world, capable of producing about 75 million tons a year. Turkey comes right after that cucumber giant, with a yield of about 2 million tons a year. In these countries, mechanical harvesters significantly increase efficiency, reducing labour costs and the time required for harvesting. After harvesting, cucumbers are transported to collection points using open bed trucks or trailers. For longer distances, refrigerated trucks maintain temperatures between 50 and 55 degrees Fahrenheit to preserve freshness. At the receiving station, cucumbers are cleaned by powerful water jets, inspected for quality and sorted by size, before being transferred to the pickling tanks. In the US, the pickle industry is a significant contributor to the economy, supporting 37,000 jobs and generating millions in revenue. But do you know that before it became big, pickles were first used as a way to preserve food before the invention of refrigeration? The first written record of pickles dates back to 2400 BC in Mesopotamia, where cucumbers were brined, allowing people to enjoy cucumbers year-round, not just during the harvest season. Some cucumbers will be stored at 55 degrees Fahrenheit with 95% relative humidity for 10 to 20 days, if not pickled immediately. Various pickling methods exist, but fermentation remains a traditional and widely used technique in the US. It involves submerging cucumbers in a brine solution made of about 10% sugar, salt, and water in airtight containers for around 3 weeks in the summertime or 5 weeks in cooler weather. The fermentation process not only preserves the cucumbers, but also enhances their nutritional value. The process, conducted at 60 to 70 degrees Fahrenheit, allows bacteria to ferment the cucumbers, producing lactic acid that gives pickles their distinctive tangy flavour. Fermented pickles are rich in probiotics, which support gut health and boost the immune system. Plus, with less than 20 calories per pickle, you can enjoy them guilt-free, as a snack or add a twist to your meals. Over 40,000 pounds of cucumbers can fit in some of the industrial-sized fermentation vessels. Michigan leads the US in pickle production, with its industry producing over 500,000 tons of pickles in 2023. Post-fermentation, cucumbers are soaked in fresh water to remove excess salt and sugar and achieve a balanced flavour. They are then thinly sliced or kept whole and packaged into containers with a brining solution of vinegar, sugar, and spices. Then they are pasteurised. The jars are then vacuum sealed to ensure their freshness. The whole pickle production, from washing to the final products, is a high-powered process that can produce up to 5,000 jars per hour. This is because pickled cucumbers can spoil if exposed to the air for too long. Pickle production involves various styles, including dill and bread and butter, each with its unique flavour profile and preparation method. Dill pickles, for example, are flavoured with dill weed and garlic, while bread and butter pickles are sweeter, using sugar and spices like mustard seed and celery seed. Pickled cucumbers are more than just a crunchy condiment in the US. A whopping 75% of Americans, or 246 million people, according to a 2020 survey, can't resist these tangy treats. They even invented a dish called pickle sandwiches. This love for pickles goes global too, with powerhouses like Germany, Turkey, India, the US, and the Netherlands exporting over 70% of the world's pickled cucumbers. While dill is king in the US, the pickling world is vast. The spiciest pickle in the world is the Carolina Reaper pickle, containing the infamous Carolina Reaper pepper. It measures over 2 million in Scoville heat units, hundreds of times hotter than a jalapeno. All pickles are nutritious and a good source of vitamin K, which is essential for bone health and blood clotting. India enjoys sour mango pickles. Japan loves its crunchy umeboshi made from unripe plums. The electrolytes in pickles, such as sodium and potassium, can help replenish the body after physical exertion, making them a popular choice amongst athletes. And Scandinavians favour pickled herring alongside their cucumbers. The antioxidants present in pickles may help combat oxidative stress and reduce inflammation. How do you create your perfect pickle? Share your recipes and tips in the comments below, and see you in the next video.